cruising down the 90 here on our way to Sierra Vista. And I'll be riding around Sierra Vista out on the outskirts, and we're on our way to Top Tread Stairways. We're going to talk to the owner, Clyde. So yesterday I drove out there to check out the place, and I met with him, and we spoke for a few hours yesterday, having a great time. And I asked him if he would mind if I came back with my mic and did an interview and showed off the shop. And he was more than happy to comply with that. So that's what we're doing. Now, for those of you that don't know, maybe some of you haven't watched the channel before. You're just watching this now because I'm highlighting this business. I happen to be a designer, craftsman, based out of Los Angeles, originally from New Jersey. I make high quality, unique, one-off custom pieces of furniture with exposed joinery, and I'm using hardwoods, and I don't use plywood or anything like that. It's heirloom quality furniture is what I build, typically. It's what my passion is. So I have a house here in Sierra Vista, Arizona. Actually, it's in Huachuca City, and I want to relocate here. And in order for me to do that, I wanted to see if there was a lumber supplier nearby. Because obviously you can get lumber up in Tucson, but that's a 45-minute or more drive, and that's a bit of a hassle. But it turns out within 20 minutes from the house, I could be over here. Also, I was recently up in Bisbee, and I've met a bunch of business owners up there, and I was already offered a job. So, I need to investigate the area to see what local resources there are that will enable me to do what I do in Los Angeles. So, don't worry, the camera's jumping right now around. I apologize. That's because you're mounted on the dash and we're going down a road here. But it's going to stabilize as soon as we get there. So for those of you who are annoyed by unprofessional videography, this might not be the video for you anyhow. At any rate, Top Tread Stairways is he's a stair builder. And Clyde will tell his own story when we get there. But he also, as a sideline, he sells lumber and mills lumber to local builders like myself here in the Sierra Vista area, which is wonderful. What a great service that he's providing. And what's really, really, really neat is that he also makes, and we're going to see this, there's one in progress right now at the shop. It's mind-blowing. He makes these solid wood slides. Like, you could have a stairway, you could have a circular stairway in your house and have a slide right next to it that wraps around the stairs, which it's fine for adults, it's fine for kids. It's such a really whimsical, awesome thing to have in your home if you can afford it. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere. It's about to get really, really interesting. And thank you in advance for being here. All right, so here we are, and we're going to do a little tour of the shop here and meet with Clyde and talk about what's going on here. How's it going again?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, I'm good.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Just wanted to point out that he can get all these slabs here. You can buy stuff through him in the rough sawn, and of course, they're milling all this stuff. Hey, Clyde.
Hey, sir. How's it going, buddy?
I'm excellent. How are you doing?
Oh, just another great day. Having fun building the slide. We loved building the first one, and you know, some customer of ours the whole way across the country in North Carolina was like, they loved it even better than we loved building it and wanted us to build a second one. So we're building the second one. This one's about a foot longer. The last one broke the record for the longest curved slide we've ever built. It was 36 feet long. This one's gonna be a whole foot longer. So, you know, roughly identical, but 37 feet long, curved slide, like 30 inches overall width, out to wall or whatever. These are just temporary walls that are going in right now. But
This is Clyde. He's just jumped right into it. I didn't get to have him introduce you and tell you about himself, but we're going to do that next, so stick around. Don't go anywhere. That's fun.
So you want to talk about lumber now? Or
yeah, we're going to talk about lumber.
Talk about just who I am.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the lumber. Let's talk about that shop, and when we get into the showroom, we'll talk about that. But I'd like to show the people, because I love this personally. Being a wood guy, let him get his phone, and I'll talk about this a little bit while he'll have to take some calls. He's a busy guy. But what I love about a shop like this, first of all, it's gigantic. But the machines that this guy has allows him this capability of working with large timbers. I'm jealous, personally. So like we see here, this super wide belt sander, you know, super wide. Hey, Clyde, how wide is this planer?
25 inches. So, yeah. 25 inches wide, you know, like 8 inches thick or something. You can go.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then you've got a nice, pretty wide joiner here. What's
Again,
the width on
spiral cutter head, 12-inch wide joiner. Yeah.
Not to get too in the weeds for people here or just here for like a preliminary thing. Let's open that up. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that?
How I feel about that?
Yeah.
I will never go to a straight knife again. That's the way I mean, is that what you're pressing for? I mean,
absolutely.
Why would I? And the big thing, well, there's two reasons. But my first thing I notice is the sound. I mean, yeah, we use hearing protection when we run our equipment, but just running without anything on it, it's quieter. Yeah.
Because I have an old machine that has straight blades. You guys have seen my Inca joiner planer, and it instantly aligns perfectly, and they're two-sided. And these came out later. So actually, I'm using antiquated technology in my shop, but I don't have the need to buy new.
Exactly.
But if I did,
exactly.
This would be it. So let's see what else you got going on in here.
You want to see the 400 knife version?
No.
Whoa! What did I do? I didn't know there was coffee in there.
Hey, this is how this channel goes all the time. There's never anything going perfect. But you do want to wipe that off so you don't get rusty. I didn't want to get into this, but that's fine. It's really, really
I mean,
neat.
it's just, you know, a bunch of teeth in there. I'd say I can't get any dentists to work on because they had too many teeth in there.
But the neat thing about these is they're four-sided, right?
Yes, right.
So you can loosen a screw and spin each one of these, which it just makes them last so much longer.
Yeah, like they say, a cat has 9 lives. Well, this has 4, you know.
So. That is just amazing. We're going to keep walking around the shop for a few minutes and talking about this. But as we're going, we have to mention, Clyde is really a stair builder.
Yeah.
That's what you really focus on.
Exactly.
Right? Look at you.
He actually spilled it.
Wait. If you want to throw something on me, just so we match?
Throw something.
Yeah, just throw like a thing of water on me.
Blue. Type bond 2.
You know, since we're here,
yeah,
what you're doing here is a set of stairs. Or excuse me, it's a slide.
This time, somebody else is building the slide. I'm happy to build stairs and slides all over the country, but I always tell people, if they can get a local guy to do it, why not hire him rather than hire me? They can't find anyone to build the slide, so I build the slide, someone else comes in and builds the stair next to it. But we love building the stair and the slide all combined. To me, that is the most artful thing you can do, is combine it. It looks a lot better, in my opinion, but yeah.
So what you did here is this 2x6 framing. Obviously, this represents what's going on in the home.
Yeah, there actually is a little bit more of a space to the wall. Besides, there's a little more room between the walls than this is. Yeah. And then we just put a piece of white oak plywood, nail it down on here that's cut to fit to the walls at the site. that's the idea.
Sure. Now, yesterday when I was here, we'll show you a little bit more with the stairs here, because I just think it's neat, just so you guys can see this. Each one of these is a solid piece of oak that's been machined exactly how it needs to be. You can imagine with a curve, you basically are just tapering each piece. So it's wider here, it'll get thinner there as it goes around this turn. And it's pretty amazing when you build things, because what you actually create curves with straight lines. It's an amazing thing that you have to figure out.
Yeah.
And you know,
we're not bending one piece of wood in this slide.
Right. And you can just tell this is all white oak. This is hard stuff, and it's going to all be glued and screwed, and it's really interesting. But what I really want to talk about first is your lumber situation, because I was saying on the way here that, you know, I'm going to be moving here and I need to be able to buy lumber, and that's how I found Clyde yesterday. And so let's talk about that.
Yeah.
You know,
well, so when we're not building a slide in this corner, this whole area is full of live edge lumber. So we've had to move some of it away. We put a stack of it over here. Here's here's a whole, what do you call it? It was basically a trailer load of mesquite that we brought in a week and a half ago and stacked it here because we're used to building a slide. So some of the live edge tends to be scattered right now, and then of stuff that's not live edge, we have that a little more organized at the front of the shop. So,
and on this, did it come like this, or did you surface it all?
I surfaced it. I get everything in rough, and then we surface it to usually around 85, 90%. Yeah. So so the people can see what they're looking at. Now we rarely build anything out of live edge. This is a market that we have tapped into kind of by chance, if you will. When we moved the shop here in 2018, we discovered there was no hardwood lumber suppliers of any sort within an hour and a half drive, and we're like, hey, let's just like run a Craigslist ad with the lumber that we keep in stock to build stairs with, it just took off. And what I intended as a hobby is a pretty serious profit center, if you will. I mean, we have people walking here every day picking up slabs for their own projects.
That is wonderful. It blows my mind. I have to say, I wanted to do this video because I'm so happy to meet this guy. And let's just real quickly mention, put aside what we're talking about here. This guy, salt of the earth, awesome human being as well. So I'm just saying, if you're in Sierra Vista and you need lumber, I don't see how you could do any better than coming down and talking to this guy. In the meantime, let's just really quick run through the shop and talk about what you have, like, so people understand what your capabilities are. Because a lot of it, you have to understand something. When you need something custom, not every shop can do it for you just because they're limited by their machines. And what I can see, being a professional, is that Clyde has not spared any expense here. He's got large capacity, well-made machines, and this is just super important. Yeah. You can run into some fly-by-night character who will tell you he'll do something, and then you go to a shop and you look at it and you go, I don't think you're going to be able to do it. You know, they'll get it done, but it's not going to get done well.
Yeah. I mean, we do custom milling for people. It's usually, just by the minute when they come in here if they want that. So, I mean, as far as the big workhorses, we already looked at the 42-inch Laguna wood. I mean, the time saver, the big wide belt sander, and then we looked at the 25-inch planer.
How wide is the sander?
It's 42 inches. Okay. The capacity is 42. You can get a little bigger piece in there, but the belt is 43, and it swivels back and forth a bit. So yeah, and of course the 12-inch joiner, and then the 12-inch table saw.
Yeah, that's just
I mean, it's.
And then you've got the table on this too.
Right.
So
yeah. So we got that as well. So. That's when it comes to the big workhorses. Obviously, there's a dust collector outside. It's the most recent piece of equipment we've upgraded. Really happy with it.
And what's the square footage of this shop?
We are at 5,000 square feet, including the showroom. Yeah.
I am so jealous.
Plus a wee bit of 200 square feet on the second floor of a kind of a guest room and what have you.
I was going to surprise you guys with this at the end, but he just let the cat out of the bag. He has an Airbnb upstairs, and you're definitely going to see that. And the stairwell going in there, which is so smart, because he's represented all the wood species he's typically using, and at the same time highlighting a beautiful set of stairs. Very smart. Very smart.
Thank you.
Let's walk over here and see the clamps.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Because, you know, every woodworker has a fetish for clamps.
That's the thing. Has any woodworker ever said to you, I have too many clamps?
No.
I've never met one.
No,
so.
no, you never have enough clamps.
I don't know. I haven't counted them for a couple of years, but you know we're in the somewhere between the 1 and 200 range, probably closer to 200. But yeah,
I don't
they
wanna-
get used all the time.
I don't want to offend you, but I'm getting a little excited. I don't,
Yeah.
look,
Anyway, yeah. So we try to stay organized, but as you can see, there's a little bit of chaos here and there. We didn't really prepare anything for you guys coming in here and watching what we're doing. But,
just be careful. He's talking with his hands, and I do not want him to knock over another cup of coffee.
that's the thing. Look out.
And so this is good too. You got some storage here for hardware.
Yeah. This is just random, stuff. You know, anything from. Everyone needs a whole boatload of wood plugs in every different species. We use a lot of those in the stair industry. Rail bolt tools, miter clamps, on and on. So
I love it.
yeah.
And you got Festool as well. I love Festool.
Yeah, we've got a couple of those and make good use of them. Yeah, happy with it. Yeah.
And so this is interesting. So you're going with just a sliding compound miter saw.
You know, I'm always a little sheepish about my rigid saw in my shop, but show me one other chop saw that goes 70 degrees in both directions and I'll buy it.
Well, it's just that in the old days, and in a lot of places, even in Los Angeles, when I go to wood suppliers, they are still running like vintage Comet radial arm saws or vintage DeWalt radial arm saws. And so it's interesting to see what's happening right now with professional woodworkers, because you're not. As a matter of fact, I went to a thrift store down the road on the 90 the other day, and I was looking at a radial arm saw there, and I'm just thinking, I don't need it. I have a 12-inch compound miter saw that does everything, you know. So it's fascinating there. Let's go ahead and walk into the showroom and talk about where you came from, how you got here, and then let's show off your the clippings on the wall. It's impressive.
Well, there's a slide we shipped to a children's hospital in Springfield, Illinois. Last year. It's 45 feet long, the longest one we've ever built. It basically filled the length of a semi-trailer up. We thought about building it in 2 pieces and we're like, it's such a pain to join it. Let's build it in 1 piece and pay the extra shipping. So that's what we did. Worked out great. And here's a kind of a pretty rough.
It's rough.
We built it out of MDF and threw stain on it. We built this as a prototype before we built our first slide for a customer, and we were just trying to get them to have a real handle on how it looked and felt. So we built this, put a finish on so they could actually try it out. And it's, you know, kind of one of those things it's got to find another home somewhere. But for now, you know, kids coming in here with their parents or whatever, they're trying it out. So.
And you pointed this out to me yesterday, this scale model.
Yeah. Right. Scaled model of a slide that we built in this went to Sacramento. It was again the first one that we built, so we had a 3D model, but we just decided to build a scaled model of the actual, you know, slide and stair combination. So
you know, I pointed out to Clyde yesterday, it'd be really neat to put a little rope light, like a string light, on the inside. It's like cut a channel in it. And that'd be a really neat chandelier kind of system here for over a dining room table. Oh, tell me about the table.
Yeah. Okay. This table is made of a tree branch that a friend of mine cut off in California. It's 54 or 60 inches wide, somewhere in there, 50 some inches wide. And
what's the species?
It's eucalyptus. It's a eucalyptus tree. The base of the tree was 8.5 feet across, and this was the lowest branch. So we had to, he had a whole stack of these, and we brought one in here. We put a metal legs under it, and had someone do the epoxy with the turquoise.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So
is this for sale?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I've been. We're not hard up to sell it. I mean, if we sold it, we just build another and similar to it and put it in here. But yeah, we have a price on it. And feel free to ask. So, yeah.
So stairs is the passion.
That's what we are. We're crazy about stairs and anything related to stairs, which in the last 6 years has become slides quite a bit. We built 3 slides last year. This again is a newspaper article of the one I talked about on the wall outside the showroom. That is 45 feet long, solid black walnut in a commercial space children's hospital in Springfield. And you can walk in there and take a ride if you want to.
That's awesome.
So, and then of course, this is a couple of newspaper articles. All these plaques on this wall are all one project. This is the one that by far got the most press. We installed it 5 years ago in Sacramento. And the customers still call me about once a year or text me and they're like, hey, how's it going? How's your family? And all this. And we stay in touch, and they give us a perpetual invitation for us to come and try it out. You know, we do occasionally. So, yeah.
So you were telling me originally you were in Northern California.
Yeah, right. So I started my business in Sacramento, well, just north in Sacramento County, outside of the city limits. I started my stair business in 2006, and we were there for 12 years. Custom stairs. I pretty much worked by myself that whole time. The last maybe 6 years, I had an installer in the field some, but I always ran the shop myself. And then in 2018, we moved over here to Southern Arizona, and there was a couple of good reasons to do that. And I didn't know how it was going to go, but it's went amazing. It's been a good experience.
And so originally it was just stairs, but you were explaining to me yesterday how the wood sales has become another, like a sideline for you to make some money.
Yeah, I mean, my stairs, you know, I build the boring basic stair, but I also do quite a few high-end products, high-end stairs, and most of those go across state lines. The thing I love the best about the wood industry, the lumber sales, is it connects with me with local woodworkers and do-it-yourselfers that are buying up wood and like in my local community.
Yeah, and I mean, we would have never met if I didn't. You know, if you weren't here selling wood to other people,
there we go.
And we're already pals. So I love it.
Yeah, we connected yesterday.
Yeah, it was a wonder. I actually felt guilty, and I don't know if I said this on the way here. I did a little preamble on the way here.
Yeah.
But I have this thing. You know, I meet new people, and you guys know I don't have a filter. You know, like I think something and it just comes out. Yeah. And then you never know who you're talking to, and you might offend somebody and that sort of thing. So usually when I first meet somebody, you'll have a text afterwards and I'll say, oh, I hope everything's okay and I didn't say anything wrong. Because I never want to, because people are funny sometimes, you know. Yeah, so let's show this stairway here, because we're going to talk about that when we get upstairs.
Yeah, this is we build more of these stairs than any other specific type of stair. It's called an alternating tread device. Alternating tread stair, space-saving stair, there's different terms. I have a whole list of like 20 different terms that are used on my website. But anyway, it basically, when you walk up a set of, I like to tell people, I watch them climb a conventional stair and then I build the stair how they use it, and this is how it looks. So, you know, I mean, you can, this is the steepest stair that you're allowed to do for building code, but yeah, it works out great.
And that's the point. So the whole point of this is when you need to build something that you're restricted for depth for some reason, and it has to be this steep, this is really the only way to go. Now, I have a set of stairs that I built for somebody that are movable for a loft I did, and I'm going to do that for you either later today or in the next couple days. I'm going to share with you a picture folder of that project, and it's interesting because my friend Kevin and Gretchen, who I spent time with up in Bisbee every day, that was Kevin's sister I did that project for over 20 years ago. And I could have done this, but I did a more traditional thing because it was easier for her to move around. But for something that's going to be stationary, this is the way to go.
Yeah. And this one is as steep as the code allows you to build them. By the way, they are code compliant. They can only be used as primary access to up to 200 square feet. And that is the IRC, the International Residential Code. So we have this is a real base model. We have a nicer one upstairs that has a full railing on the side and is a little more gentle to climb. Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at that, because right here, well, first,
Yeah.
Look at this. I mean, okay. This right here, guys, there's going to be so many of you that want this. Contact Clyde here. and he'll tell you what it entails. But how fun is that?
Yeah, we got one just like this that we're going to build out of alder, believe it or not, that's going into Visalia about the middle of next year. So
the alder's smart because it's less expensive.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And it, you could, I don't know what they're doing finish wise. I don't usually get into the finishing. They usually use a local contractor to do that. But yeah, they could make it look just like this if they wanted to.
And
yeah.
Let me just do something here. So tell me about this stairway.
So there's this thing that customers have. Some stair customers come to me and say, I want this kind of wood, or I want maybe this or this. And then some come to me and they say, what would you do? And for years I have said, I would do a different species of wood on each tread. And then we all laughed because that would be so weird. And when I got to build my showroom here, I said, you know what? I'm into lumber sales and into stairs. I need to show people what kind of woods I have available. So I built this entire stair system with every tread being different, the rails different than the treads, the platform upstairs, the space-saving stair, everything is different profiles and species. So, yeah, that was the idea here.
And then what is up the stairs?
So we can go look at that. We've got kind of a Airbnb up here, as well as an extension of the showroom. So we don't push the Airbnb real hard, so most of the time it's vacant, but we do, a lot of clients come in here and just to get ideas about their woodworking project or whatever. Put a section of curved railing here so they can see what that looks like. I used every kind of iron baluster and cable from the top to the bottom that is available. We have, a deck outside the door here that has another kind of exterior rail that we set.
That real quick.
Okay, sure, yeah. So there is that.
Now, of course, what's really neat about today is you actually have one of the coolest vehicles on the road right here.
I agree. I knew there was a whole astroculture, and now I finally met one of them. I was impressed when I saw an Astro. I was like, yeah, this guy.
You guys can see the top of the deck here, which you don't often get to see from this vantage point. So that'll hold over 2,000 pounds. I've had over a ton of material up there, and I've had 5 adults partying up there. It's dead flat. It's pretty amazing.
Way to go.
That is not what we're here to talk about. Let's go back inside here.
Yep. And of course, this is a space-saving stair that I'm a little bit more, it's got more to brag about. You've got it built out of solid sapele with ash stringers, a Jatoba, or sometimes called Brazilian cherry rail, and then of course American cherry next to it here.
Well, mention that to me, because I'm a pretty knowledgeable guy when it comes to wood, but I haven't heard that term before. What is this?
Okay, so the species is Jatoba when I order it from my supplier. Well, some of the suppliers will call it Brazilian cherry, but when you order wood flooring, when you go shopping for wood flooring, this Brazilian cherry is probably the only thing you're going to hear it called, and it's not a cherry tree. It's a very fast-growing, super hardwood out of Brazil or other South American countries.
And this would be probably classified as an ironwood.
I wouldn't classify it as that, but it is super hard. Yes, right. Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, I mean, there's a lot of different species that are classified as ironwoods, and they call them that because they're like hard as iron, and it makes it very difficult to work with your tools, and it'll dull your tools. And as a craftsman, and you probably know this, for me personally, if I'm working, if hard maple, hard maple, I can't think of anything else off the top of my head all of a sudden. Yeah. But beech can be like that. And so if you are demanding me to...
And mesquite,
mesquite. So if you're saying, hey, I absolutely want that wood, that's fine. I have to charge you more money for that because I'm going to ruin blades. Saw blades, the sharpening process, everything else. It's not a lot more, but we have to cover that cost.
Exactly.
So this was just a fun thing because you had the space?
Yeah, so we built this thing. I didn't want to spend a boatload of money, but anyway, so.
But this is the space-saving tray.
Yeah, this is a space-saving stair, and then a hanging loft, and some windows up there, and then there's, of course, thermally modified wood siding on the outside wall. We should have looked at that in ash. But yeah. So yeah, this is all part of kind of the showroom and the Airbnb as well. If you ever dreamt about sleeping in a stair builder's shop, you know, here's one you could.
Let's show the bedroom.
Oh yeah. So yeah, kind of tucked in the corner between the two rafters. The trusses running 12 foot on centers through this building, and we just tucked the bedroom up in here, and you know, little closet back in there, all that good stuff. So
Oh, and then you share the bathrooms downstairs.
yeah, right. Yeah, then there's a full bathroom downstairs.
What's that door for?
That's an additional storage back behind there, on the on the upper level. That yeah. If someone lives here more long term, there's a storage room for them, which we've had already happen. So, yeah.
Oh, and then those stairs that you walked up downstairs,
Yeah.
did they go to that spot?
Yeah. That's the area that we just were 5-10 minutes ago.
Did you build this building?
I did. Yep. Yeah. I built it. Yeah. When we moved here, when we were going to move to Arizona. I've always had my stair shop on my own property in the Sacramento area, and I really wanted to just so I could seamlessly move and keep building. We could not find a property with a satisfactory shop on, so we were like, well, let's find one, that we can build a shop, and we found this, on the corner of paved roads and all that. Yeah.
What's going on with the keyboards?
My daughters love playing music, and I never really had the knack of it, but and some of the guests use it.
You said daughters plural.
Yeah, I have 7 daughters and 1 son, so it's quite a tribe, I guess you would say. Yeah, I told when we had the 7th daughter, I said, hey, 7 is the perfect number, so there we go.
7 brides for 7 brothers.
Something. Yeah.
This is phenomenal. Well, let's go ahead and walk on downstairs, and then did you say you wanted to maybe place a tread or one of those pieces for the slide?
Yeah, we could put a couple of those layers on if you want. I just got to grab a glue bottle, and I'm all set to go otherwise. So
I would just like to show you guys that, and then we'll put an end to this video
we
here.
can walk out this way and see a little more, or whatever. Yeah, we stock all sorts of rails that we don't make in about 5 different species. Just so that someone orders a stair, we can jump right on it and build it. And of course, then we have those that want something that nobody has on the shelf, and then we take the time and build it that way. So. We just milled this mesquite for a cabinet builder. He wanted it all to 3/4 thick, and he was going to cut the live edge off to make it into face frames or something. Just made a whole stack of that for him. That's a whole boatload of, that's a piece of redwood. It's 68 years old. And what do we got across there? 45 inches pretty much.
You make a great coffee table.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then behind it is a whole couple hundred board feet of eastern red cedar that we brought back in an empty trailer last summer when we installed a slide in an indoor playground in a public school just outside of Dallas, Texas. So we're like coming back with this trailer. I was like, what should we do? Eastern red cedar out of East Texas. Got a sweet deal on it, and it's more than you can use in a year.
And it's really wild. Yesterday when I was talking to Clyde, he was explaining to me, and you've already heard this now, how all these projects, they're all over the country. So it's pretty neat because you can live here in Sierra Vista, and if I walked out here, there's nothing around here.
Yeah.
So,
right.
And yet he's taking on projects. Where's this going again?
Yeah, this is going to Raleigh, North Carolina. And the parts that are right here are going to Gleason, which is just an hour's drive from here, close to Elfrida, kind of out in the sticks, if you will. Yeah.
And you've got 2 guys working for you here. They're pretty
2
young
full-time guys, and there's 2 other guys I draw from as needed. Yeah.
And did you train them, or did they come to you with
I did,
skills?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The one is a younger guy, 20, just turned 20, and he, I'm kind of training him. And the other guy I've had on for a year and a half already. That's the way it's been. So, yeah.
Well, of course, now you have to remind them to not leave a cup of coffee on the machine anymore.
Whoever did that, if you would just come and apologize.
The thing I know about guys like us is that one of the things you have to get used to when you do things like this for a living is things frequently do not go well. And you have to be okay with that because you have to remain calm and stay with the job.
Okay, so basically what I was doing there is drilling through to make a, I got my CNC guy pre-drilled the 10 holes on each layer for me, but then I use a countersink bit and drill through. I have to have the screw pattern laid out in a specific way so they don't conflict, because there's 10 screws in each layer, and you can see how they'll be offset about a 1/2 inch. But I've got to go get a rag and a blower to clean the sawdust up. Then we're going to put some some glue on and go with the next layer.
So, of course, I understand how this works, and it was fun yesterday to come in, and I already know what's going on. And so it's important. Countersinking is obvious so that when the next piece goes up against it, the head of the screw, keeping you from the pieces adhering properly.
See, there we go. I didn't prep my glue bottle. So we'll get that figured out shortly.
Are you using Type Bond 3 there, huh?
It's Type Bond 2 Extend. We had got a whole bunch of it in. When we had a big project, we got like 3 or 4 gallons in, and we only use 1 gallon because of the way we build it. And then, so we're using it up because it's going to go dry pretty soon if we don't. So that's why it's a little bit brown. It is Type Bond. So you can see I've got a...
You knew what I was getting at. Because I use Type Bond 2. I tried Type Bond 3, and I don't like it because it takes too long to set up. For me, Type Bond 2, for what I use, usually does the trick.
I put these in a specific order.
It's like a mechanic putting heads on a motor.
First time I got the right amount of screws in my hand, the first time I grabbed the pallet.
Well, that's because I'm lucky.
Yeah. It's the good day to make a video.
And I'll tell you, so this is a big part of the process. And what he'll do here is he'll get these done in sections. And each one of these sections, what do you estimate the weight? That's got to be a couple hundred pounds.
Yeah, we do it in 4 sections, and each section is going to weigh about probably 500 to 600 pounds, right in there somewhere. So yeah, we roll it in on a cart when we're doing the job site. We have 4 guys that we bring the job, me and 3 other guys, and bring it in and set it in place and bolt them together.
So are you saying that when you're going to travel this across the country?
I will.
And you'll bring a crew?
I'm going to fly one of my guys back here, and then I've got friends that used to live out west, that used to help me part-time, that live back east now. One guy in Richmond, Virginia, and he has like a 2-hour drive to where the job site is.
Well, I'm going to offer right now, when I'm in town, anytime you got to travel somewhere and you need a good guy to help you with that, I would love to participate.
That's exactly what this guy said the last time he helped me. He says, I'm ready to fly all over the country and install these for you. So
now let me ask you another question. Yeah. So you'll get this together, and you were saying how you hire a guy to come in here and sand this out.
Yeah, it's a guy I've had working part-time for me for about 2 years, and he is a phenomenal woodworker. He's probably semi-retired, I might say, an older gentleman, but he has the skill, and he knows a sander like I've never known a sander and a grinder and shapers and all that. And he comes in here and just puts his mind to it. And he'll be coming in here next week and and spending 3 weeks sanding this whole thing out as I build it. So I'll be building up, and he'll be coming right behind me, and we'll be a couple feet separated from each other. And soon I'm going to be up past that light, past the bottom of the truss, up into the eave there.
And, you know, my next question is, you make these sections, he sands it out. You apply the finish and everything here?
I don't do any finishing.
Oh, that's what you said. Okay,
yeah,
so this
right.
will get installed in North Carolina, and then somebody will go there and finish it.
Right, yeah, it's a 14,000 square foot house. They've got a lot of other woodworking in the house and finishers on site and all that, yeah.
And when they do that, this is just for my own curiosity, this is like inside baseball for a lot of people who might not be that curious about it, but I am, so you're about to learn something. So when it comes to the finish, what are you finishing this with?
Okay, so what
are they
I just
finishing
said,
with?
yeah, I just said that I don't do finishing. I actually do have a guy down the street that has his own shop, builds furniture, just working by himself. He does all my high-end finishing. So that is when I do it like that. Those two commercial stairs I mentioned, the one that went into a public school and the one that went into the children's hospital, I had to pre-finish them. So we shut down the shop over a weekend, obviously, and brought him in, and he did the finish. And we used conversion varnish. We've used that on a couple of commercial countertops that we built with good success. I was just like, he knows his finishing. I said, can you tell me what is the best we can put on this? And you know,
he's right here in Sierra Vista.
Yeah, right.
This is great for me because I say this all the time. I'm not a finisher. I do a finish. I have very simple finishes that are effective and they work well for me, and it's easy in my shop because you have to think about dust and things like that.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
So like if you're a pro finisher, you can't be building things in the same place where you're doing the finish a lot of the time because you can't have that dust contaminating your finish. So that is going to be helpful for me as well.
It might have been called catalyzed varnish. I'm a little unsure which one it is, but anyway, yeah,
so,
one of those terms.
You know how comments are.
Yeah.
We'll get some criticism in the comments, and you guys know what you can do with that.
Yeah.
So anyhow, listen, we're going to sign off. Thank you for being here. It's Top Tread Stairways in Sierra Vista. This is Clyde. And so if you call Clyde and you want him to build you a set of stairs or a slide or both, you tell Mike Z sent you, it's not going to get you a discount. I'm just telling you right now.
We'll treat you great. Believe me, everyone gets a discount. How's that?
This guy is such a nice guy. Everybody gets treated well here at Top Tread Stairway. Thanks for being here. Be kind to one another, and I'll catch you all in the next one.
Great.
Yeah.